IFL TV. You're watching it. Usyk, Bellew, it's huge. Listen, I don't know why. It's long awaited. England is like the home of boxing. You know, Marquess of Queensberry rules come from here. This is the first time there's ever been a unification bout taking place on British soil. It's long overdue, and it's finally going to happen. So it's really great. I'm really excited for it, but check it out. There's also more history to this fight. It's November 9th, 2018. November 9th in 1996, there was a cruiserweight, a gentleman, you might have heard of him, Evander Holyfield. Also, undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. At the time, didn't have WBO because they didn't sanction that belt. But anyway, he took on Mike Tyson in Las Vegas, and he won the WBA heavyweight championship of the world. Now, Alexander Usyk wants to fight Joshua. He wants to go to heavyweight. He's made no secret of that. But he's got a tall order in Tony Bellew, the Liverpudlian. It's going on tomorrow night here in Manchester. Don't miss it. You got any other questions?
I don't think I asked you one, but it's great.
Yeah, yeah. What's going on?
Great, dropping knowledge since 1942.
That's
great.
it, baby.
It's great.
That's it.
Do you want to introduce us to your friend here?
This is Paul Reddy, and I'm going to tell you this. People, a lot of other people, you know, people that are casual fans, they might not understand, but one of the most important roles in boxing, and I mean this sincerely, I really do. You see the straight face, is the role of a matchmaker. It's really, I can't explain how important it is for boxing. When you bring a fighter up, when fighters get to a certain level, you need to match them correctly, and Paul Reddy is the mastermind behind it. So we have to give him a big thanks. He's one of the unsung heroes of the sport. Guys like Ron Katz, guys like Bruce Trampler, these incredible matchmakers throughout the sport that do a great job. Eric Botcher, there's some great guys out there. Paul's one of them, so that's Paul Reddy.
And David, your money's in the post, my man. Right. Thank you very
That's right.
much.
That's right. That's right. So you know, I got a tenner on that one, but yeah, I work cheap. You know, what are you gonna say?
It is you.
It is you. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, this is probably not the right time for like a little bit of an in-depth, but just to IFL viewers to know that this is Paul Reddy, matchmaker for MATCHROOM, and had a hand in some of the fights on this bill, including Cardle and Burns.
Cardle Burns, yeah. So that kind of come about quite late. Eddie was in the States on holiday, and yeah, I just said to him, "Why don't we do Cardle Burns?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't think either of them would be up for it." Called Ricky, called Joe Cardle, and yeah, those guys were well up for it. So it was an easy one to do, which is kind of quite nice to do late. So already get to it. Scott Hamilton, bring him in.
He doesn't want to be brought in, but yeah, there are a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. People assume the promoters kind of make every fight from top to bottom. It's not the case. We know it's not the case.
Well, they do because they hire the right people.
Correct,
you have to have a team.
but there are work that happens underneath that. That's what I'm making a point of.
I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of work that goes into cards that people don't see. But that's great. They don't need to see that. All they need to see is you turn on the telly, you come to the venue, and you watch a great night of fights. That's what we want you guys to see. But there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and he puts the match in MATCHROOM. So, you know, that's a great thing. And what are you going to say? And speaking of matches, keeps it lit.
It's on fire. MATCHROOM. I like that.
Yeah. So, but it is a great card. I mean, you got a Nixon-Nil fight on this. You know, someone's going to kill a nil because you got the two cruiserweights that are undefeated. It's for a vacant WBA Intercontinental Championship. It's kind of really the first test for both of these guys. You know, Sam Hyde and Richard Riakporhe. That's going to be a great fight. Talking about Cardle Burns, almost like the trajectories of different fighters. You know, one guy's like a three-time three-weight world champion. The other guy's kind of coming up. He's got some, you know, different titles, but never on a world level. So it's a huge name for him if he could beat Burns. And of course, at the top of the bill, I mean, the chief support. You know, Anthony Crawla, he's a Mancunian, so he has a huge support here. He won his title right across the street at the Manchester Arena, you know, when he fought Perez. And he's fighting this Indonesian, Dowd and
Jordan.
Dowd Jordan, Chino, he goes by Chino, but Dowd Jordan is a really good fighter. He's won the IBO in 2 different weight divisions, so that's a tough order. But what's really funny is the toughest order is if you win that, because of course Lomachenko has the WBA, so you become the mandatory for him. So that's going to be an interesting fight, and I'm looking forward to it. I think this fight, from what I understand, it sold out weeks ago. I mean, it's Manchester Derby weekend. Of course, the Christmas festival, and so many things are going on. It's just a really great weekend here in Manchester.
Okay. One last thing from you, Paul.
Yep.
One pro, one con as having Eddie Hearn as your boss.
A pro is that he's actually very funny, as you know yourself, like kind of off camera. It's a lot of stuff that we sort of have banter in the office. Con, maybe he's hard to get hold of, but that's kind of down to him being busy, even for me. So obviously he's out in the States and stuff, and he's with his family, but yeah, he can be hard to get hold of sometimes. But
So it's not just your calls he blanks sometimes?
everyone's.
Everyone.
Yours. Does he blank your calls?
Sometimes. And
Does
then
he?
he's on Twitter, literally seconds
Tweeting
after,
away.
tweeting
Yes.
away.
Yeah, I get that. So people message me going, "Where's Eddie?" Like he's ignored my call, but he's just replied to some guy from Scunthorpe about, you know, the like the running all the start time. So yeah, and I'm
Okay.
just like, look, I don't control his Twitter and stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
but I get the same.
So don't worry, everyone. If
Yeah,
this video applies to you, then Eddie blanks everyone at some point.
Everybody.
Don't know if he's ever blanked
Want to
you.
give a big shout out also to David Allen, White Rhino, because he's just a ton of fun. And also, of course, Josh Kelly. He's a new father, just had a son last Friday, Josh Jr. So it's great that both of those guys are on the card. It's always good to see them. So it's one of those cards that from top to bottom, I love it. And then, of course, the main event, it's huge. I mean, if Bellew can slay the monster, if Bellew can slay the monster and beat Usyk, I think the roof's going to come off the Manchester Arena. It's going to be an amazing night.
All right, boys. Thank you very much.
Bye.